Namaste to all of you. At the very outset, I really extend my heartiest thanks to Bharatiya Vikas Manch and all of you for choosing me as a first speaker of the year 2013 for this series of lectures what you organize. There is a slight correction in my introduction that I worked with Vivekananda Kendra as a dedicated life worker for 14 years, and presently I am a worker of International Center for Cultural Studies, ICCS, which has a research center in Arunachal, Pradesh. I am the executive director of that research center. This year, 2013, is a very important year for all of us, as the first speaker has mentioned correctly that we are celebrating 150th birth anniversary of great master Swami Vivekananda. I remember, and you must be recollecting, that particular period, 1863, in and around, there are 3 stalwarts born in India. Mahatma Gandhi was 6 years younger than Swami Vivekananda, and Lokmanya Tilak was 7 years elder than Swami Vivekananda. So 13 years period, 3 stalwarts born. Among them, Swami Vivekananda is one of the very unique person, a monk, but he's not merely monk, he's a patriotic monk. He gave the message around spirituality that nation is above all. That is how he spoke. Apart from this, one of the greatest teaching is service, tyaga and seva, both put together. Service to humanity is service to divinity. That is what he spoke. And that is how he also said that if at the cost of learning from, at the cost of society, at the cost of family, if somebody is growing, it is his prime duty to work for the people, the downtrodden and the poor of the nation, the neglected, the leftover, for them. And this is how his philosophy is very much relevant till today, because much of the humanity lives still in poverty and they are underprivileged. I am working since last 28 years in Arunachal Pradesh, Indo-China border. Sorry for a small interruption.
I think we were playing this. What happened? We played it.
We saw it briefly. Yeah, we didn't see it.
No, Ramaj, we did project the sitar.
Yeah.
If that can go, what's wrong with this?
No, it is some technical issue. We don't know.
Okay, in the meantime, I will continue my talk. I will show you some of the slides on where the Arunachal Pradesh is there and what are the real issues. And since the topic has been given as an insider's view, maybe because I am there since long, more than 2 decades working over there, so I have now liberty to talk on many topics. Concept topics may be administration of Arunachal Pradesh and the social issues and the security issues there on the borders, and what exactly we are working with people means what we are doing and why we should work over there. So I think that liberty this particular topic has given, it's quite interesting. But for the information of all, Arunachal Pradesh is a very much important strategic state of our country. It is situated on the easternmost tip of our country in the northeastern East India. And you might be recollecting that there are a number of states, 7 states, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura. These are some of the states situated in and around. And among all 7 states, popularly known as 7 sisters, and Arunachal Pradesh is the largest among all. And I was talking to you that it is a very important strategic place because it is exactly situated on the Indo-China border. Rather, it has the longest international border among all the states in India, 1180 kilometers running border with international communities, with Bhutan to the west, Tibet, China to the north, and Myanmar to the east. Apart from this, only 25% of its border is strategically attached to our country, and that is through Assam. And just next to Assam, there is another country that is Bangladesh. So rather, Arunachal Pradesh, if you look at the whole thing, we are surrounded from all the international communities all around. So that's why it plays an important role in security issues, at the same time integrity of the nation. It is strategic because only for the purpose of Arunachal Pradesh, we fought a war with China, 1962, Indo-China conflict. It was for us, it was a debacle. We ran over by the Chinese army, PLA, and they came up to Assam. They went back unilaterally, but that wound is still constant. Not only the constant, but China, till today, is claiming whole of Arunachal Pradesh. They say it belongs to them. They don't recognize McMahon line. So they have gone back unilaterally, but still today they are asking that whole of Arunachal Pradesh belongs to them, and they don't recognize Arunachal Pradesh as Arunachal Pradesh. They say it is southern Tibet. Tibet belongs to them, so Arunachal also belongs to them. You must have heard that if anybody wants to go to China from Arunachal Pradesh, they say you don't need a visa. They give a stipend visa because you belongs to China itself, because we don't recognize Arunachal Pradesh as a part of India. That's why there is another issue. If a Arunachali wants to go to China, they say we will give a stipend visa. So these are some of the very contentious issues where India and China, both of them are, you can say, claiming over the Arunachal Pradesh. But of course, if you look at the Arunachal Pradesh is largely connected culturally and since ages together to Indian part of this rather than the Chinese or the Mongolid part of it. Even though the population is of Mongolid, but its connections are largely to the larger Indian culture. Right from Tibet to Nepal to Bhutan to Burma, we call it as Brahmadesh earlier, and Tibet. No, it was culturally attached to the larger part of Indian culture, and that's how it is very important. Not only this, we find even great references in our ancient scriptures, even in Kalika Purana, even in Mahabharata, we find the reference. For example, when Arjuna went to for penance, tapasya, in the Himalayan mountains, and Shankara wanted to test his penance, he came in the form of Kirata, and there was a fight between the Kirata man and the Arjun, and ultimately the Kirata won. Definitely he was a Shankara's form. You know who is Kirata? The Kirata's description what has been given is similar to Arunachal's. The Kiratas mention is they tie their hair as like Shankara's jata. They are short, stout, their skin color is pale, their nose is small, eyes are small. And that entire description is relates to Arunachali communities. There is another reference that says Parshurama, when his father Jamadagni, when he was annoyed with his wife, the Parshurama's mother, he ordered his sons to kill the mother. And nobody obeyed except Parshurama, the father's order. And he chopped off the mother's head with a axe. Parshurama, Parshu, Kuthar, axe. Matruvadh ho gaya. Mother's killing is a pap, aghor pap, mahapap. So the axe got stuck up to his hand because of the mother's sin. So father was definitely a Mushini, Jamadagni Muni, he was a Rishi. He was very happy and he approved. He gave 3 boons. You asked 3 boons. I am very happy with you because you are my only son who obeyed my orders. With the first boon he asked to revive the mother and mother was revived. In the second boon he asked him, now this all sin has to be vanished off. So you give me a marg, you show me the path, you give me the advice, how I should get rid of my sin. Matruvadha, a sin. And then third, he asked, how can I drop off this my axe which has got stuck up with because of my sin? And the advice was given, you walk to the northeast of our Bharat Mata, go beyond Pragjyotish. Pragjyotish is the capital of Assam, Guwahati, the then capital of Ahom kings. And then there is a river called Lohitya river and you take a holy dip there and your axe will fall down. And today, the Parshuram Kund, the very famous Kund, that is in Lohit river in Arunachal Pradesh. And every year on Makar Sankranti day, more than 2 lakhs people and the rishis and monks and many sannyasis and even common people, they come for a holy dip in Brahmapur Parshuram Kund, and that is in Arunachal Pradesh. So it is culturally, spiritually, Arunachal Pradesh is very important, rather it is called as a Punya Bhumi, I will say. The holy place. No, rather it is Himalaya, everybody knows that it is a Punya Bhumi, definitely. It is a very proper place for the tapasya and penance. You will be surprised to know, Arunachal Pradesh is a very beautiful state. Of course, Himalaya, 60% of Arunachal Pradesh is covered with thick green cover, abundance of biodiversity. Huge biodiversity. Plants, animals, more than 500 varieties of orchids are there, hundreds and hundreds of reptiles and insects. Much more wherever you find the rarest species of animals, you will find it in Arunachal Pradesh. One of the India's only ape family, Kulak Gibbon, survives in Arunachal Pradesh. The hornbill is the state animal of Arunachal Pradesh, the bird, the state bird. Mithun, the Bros frontilis, a hybrid from buffalo with bull, that is the state animal of Arunachal Pradesh. Abundance of biodiversity. It is covered with deep valleys, cascading waterfalls, serpentine rivers, cool pools, and whatnot. So it is a very wonderful place. Arunachal Pradesh is said to be the powerhouse of India. There is abundance of hydroelectricity opportunities there to develop opportunities, which will supply almost northern India, whole of northern India. That much capacity is, whole of capacity is with Arunachal Pradesh, and that's why it is called the powerhouse of northern India. You can just imagine. It is rather, you can say, there is a lot of scope for the cultural tourism. Asia's second Buddhist monastery is in Tawang. Tawang is in Arunachal Pradesh. Now Buddhism of Gelugpa sect of Buddhism came to Arunachal Pradesh, yes, rather in Himalaya through Tibet. And Tibet's, the Buddhism is a Gelugpa sect of Mahayana Buddhism, and that is followed in Arunachal Pradesh. And You know, the first largest Buddhist monastery in the world, Gelugpa sect, that is in Lhasa in Tibet. Second largest is in Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh. There are a number of archaeological sites. There is a lot of scope for cultural tourism. There is a powerhouse of these things, and then the biodiversity. It is one of the world's active biodiverse hotspots. Out of the 24 biodiverse hotspots which have been declared, Arunachal Pradesh is one of them. And this is how Arunachal Pradesh is a very important, quite greatly potential, and not only the environmental biodiversity, you will surprise know there is a cultural diversity. If you ask me what language you speak in Arunachal Pradesh, I will say I can't speak with them because there are hundreds of languages. There are 25 major tribes and 87 sub-tribes, each having their own costumes, dress, ornaments, traditions, their own system, value system, their own judicial system, their own language. All these languages are phonetic languages. They don't have a script, except Buddhist language. They follow the Pali, and so they have a script, but all tribes, they don't have a script. So all ethnic group, they have their own language, everything is known, but a common fine cultural thread is flowing among them, and that thread is connected directly to the larger Indian culture, because they are nature worship. They worship sun, the moon, the sky, the trees, the mountains, the stones, the water, Panchamahabhutas, what we call it. So it is so beautifully, you see that the man and nature symbolic relationship since ages, what is going on, it's something very unique there. And what we read and follow and listen in our scriptures, that how great rishis and ancient people, they worship the sun, the moon, the sky, and the similar traditions. Still today, Arunachal Pradesh is continuing. I say rather, it is a living cultural laboratory of the world. If anybody wants to study about the environmental biodiversity, Arunachal Pradesh is the best place. Cultural diversity, Arunachal Pradesh is the best place. So I call it is a sort of living laboratory. We lost the culture everywhere, but Arunachal Pradesh is the place where culture is still alive. I always tell an example. We learn the value system outside. Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava, Chori Karna Paap Hai. These are the value systems we learn outside. But how can teach a man in Assamese language, for example, or in almost all the languages in northern India, Pitaji ko, to the father, they call it Devta. If I want to say, where is your father? I have to say, Devta Gharat Asena ki. Aapke ghar mein Devta, matlab Pitaji hai kya? So those people who call their father as Devta, to them, there is no need of teaching that your father is like a god. It's very simple. The people whose houses have never been locked, there is no locking system in Arunachal Pradesh. The doors are kept always open. For them, chori karna paap hai, ye sikhane ka zarurat nahi hai. It is a aligned culture rather. Sometimes seeing all these things, sometimes a big question comes in my mind: who is tribal? Those who are the value keepers, the keepers of the value system, they are tribals, or those who lost the value system, they are tribals? It's a big question. So we lost the system, they are maintaining the system, value system. That's very important. So Arunachal Pradesh is such a wonderful place, very unique place. When in 1985 I was posted there by BVM Kendra, I was posted in a very remote part because, we woke up about the Northeast India in 1962 Chinese aggression. Before that, it was known as NEFA, Northeastern Frontier Agency, where all 7 states were put together. It was called the Northeastern Frontier Agency. The capital was Shillong, present capital of Meghalaya. That was the capital. And 1962, when Chinese aggression came, we were definitely a young nation, because 47 we got the independence, and then later on our army went to the borders, and we were caught unaware rather by the Chinese PLA army. And we were on the guise of what the Chawenla was calling as Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. And under that slogan, we were sleeping. And it was a sudden, the Chinese aggression came. And then they intruded into Arunachal and they came on to China. And then we woke up. But by that time, it was too late. And when we woke up, we came to know that we don't know much things about the communities there. We don't know the real life situations of the people there. We don't know in what condition the people live in the mountains, and they are our Indian people. And that's why then we woke up, we started doing for them. We wanted to give them education, patriotic education, but the situation was very volatile because there were infrastructure development was not there, growth was not there, the mountainous region road was not there, lots of malaria cases were there, and there were no radio, there was no TV, and therefore the whole thing. Thank you so much. So when we wanted to educate the people, and when we wanted to go there and work with them, it was a very difficult task rather. So when I went in 85 to go around a 150 kilometer journey, it took me 3 to 4 days because many times I had to walk there. But when I went there, saw the situation and understood that really the value keepers, the value system is still alive, I put my holds there, and I guess till today, last 28 years I am staying there because I really enjoy the working with communities there. I enjoy working with challenges there. I enjoy working with the people there. That is how I am working there. I will just, whatever I have talked, I will just show you some of the few slides so that it will be more clear picture, and then we'll go still further. I have just a quick presentation on, yeah. Can you excuse me? There is a pointer, can you give me? A small box. In that bag. So this is our motherland, India. That is the circle. I have shown the northeast, and that side I have northeast enlarged. And there are the 7 states you are seeing: Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura, and those things. And down below I have enlarged Arunachal Pradesh, and you can see to the western side of this part. There is a small box. And this particular Arunachal, what you are seeing to the western side, there is a Bhutan. On the all top above, what you are seeing to the northern side, that is entirely the Chinese border. And to the east side, down below, where Nagaland and Changlang district is there you will find the Burma border, that is the Myanmar border. And you can see here in this India's map, where Arunachal Pradesh, after that there is a pink color Assam, and below that there is directly the Bangladesh. And for Bangladesh is issues of immigration from Bangladesh to Brahmaputra Valley and through Brahmaputra Valley to the entire northeastern India. That is one of the issues again going on. So this is our geography actually, the topography you can say rather. And it's so late, I don't know. This one? Okay. So this is the unique natural beauty of Arunachal Pradesh, what you are seeing. Now Himalayan range, you can see like a Kargil height, more than 18,000 feet above the sea level. Definitely after 8 to 10,000 feet above the sea level, you can see the snow-capped peaks. And you can see this is the middle belt where a lot of valleys are, a lot of abundance of water, cascading waterfalls I was telling. And here is one of the plateau which I show it very prominently. It is called a zero plateau because here the people, now, Asia's largest production per acre of agricultural land is done here, and entire entire working force is the women here. This particular tribe is called Apatani tribe, and they take highest production of two actually. One is paddy with fish, pisciculture it is called. They do it here, the Apatanis, and This is the biodiversity which I'm talking about. There are virgin lakes, virgin mountains and everything. And these are the people you can see here. They are like a Shankara Jata, they are tying their hairs. And you can see here, this is a Mishmi tribe, around 87 subtribes which are talking about. These are the Wangchus and Noktes of Arunachal Pradesh. Some of the people you can see here. And you can see their ornaments, they are largely connected to the Indian, larger Indian culture. For example, you can see here, it is like Hanuman's mace, right? Gada bolte hum log. So it is like that. You can see here is like a symbols, what we use in bhajans and kirtans. You can see these ornaments. So this is very beautifully and largely connected to the larger Indian culture that I was telling to you. And this is the second largest Buddhist monastery in the world, that is called Tawan, where around 500 monks at a time can stay there with their disciples. And there are a lot of teaching and Buddhist teaching goes on there. And you can see the biodiversity, which I was talking about, the deep valleys and abundance of green cover, you can see here. And the value system which I was talking about, this is the wisdom of Arunachali people, rather I say. You can see the Arunachal Pradesh is it's like a belt, you can say it's the largest state in the entire country. But the people, they have a very unique value system. They have developed a very unique man and nature symbolic relationship. Every tribe has taboos. They follow certain taboo system. For example, in Indo-Bishmi tribe, if you take into account, they worship few trees, they worship few animals. Some of the animals are protected by taboos. They say, if you kill this particular ulov gibbon, you will fall sick with leukemia. The bear in some part of Arunachal Pradesh, the black bear in Himalayan bear is a maternal uncle of that particular tribe, for example, Sherdulpen tribe. Many of the tribe, tiger is their brother, ancestral brother. And for example, the Mishmi Monal, for some of the tribe, it is their sister. So like this, because they have developed, the ancient people, they have developed a unique relationship between the man and the nature, and therefore you will find abundance of diversity. See, in eastern part, suppose the black bear is killed by the tribals, hunted by the tribals, but in western part it is protected by the tribals. In particular trees, brought down in some areas, but under where it is protected. Some birds are protected here, some birds are protected there, some animals are here, some there. Whole of Arunachal Pradesh is an abundance of biodiversity, and that is because of symbolic relationship between man and nature. You look at their clothes. For example, this is the northeastern, I am talking about the whole of northeast, adjacent, this is Assam's. This is one of the famous dance of Assam called Bihu dance. You look at their clothes and designs and motifs. I will just make a close-up of it. See, the designs again, their weaving system, every house weaves the clothes, right? And these clothes are again, the designs and motifs about to weave is animals again, the elephant, the tiger, the rhinos, the birds. Not only this, you see the symbolic relationship. I am just giving a small example here. This is, in Meghalaya, the people follow, they are called sacred groves. There are places where the trees and the wilderness has been still maintained, and they say in this particular part nobody should do anything bad thing because it is God's place. You cannot cut a tree, you cannot take out any forest resources from that place, you cannot go there, you just worship their places, and those places are what? They are the water resources. Water sources. And that's why there is an ancient wisdom involved in that. I will cite another example. You can see this is abundance of sacred groves. You can see, in today's world, what we talk of sustainable practices. We need not to teach them what is sustainable practices. I will cite another example. There is a lesson in our class 8 book. It is called pest-predator relationship. As on today, we have to teach to the students what is pest and predator relationship. How to teach to the communities where they don't use the pesticides, but where the pest attack comes, they tie a dead crab which smells badly in the field, and because of its smell, all the insects and pests, they come there, and there is a small bag is tied, and all the insects got hold of, and they destroy it. This is how the system. Now, how do you look at this? This is the ancient wisdom. So we are looking back to the whole world is when looking back to the ancient traditional system and the traditional knowledge. Arunachal Pradesh is the best place to study there. We have literacy, we have achieved the growth, 72% of literacy. We achieved some part of infrastructure. For the Now, economic development, we opened lots of sawmills, and that gave, we cut the lot of trees, we earned a lot of money, but with the horticulture and fishery development, we did lot of things, but while educating, life-giving education was left out. While teaching the global language, we forgot to promote the local languages and dialects, the local languages and the mother tongue, which talks about the history of the community, the greatness of the people. They speak about the environment, biodiversity, the rivers and mountains around them. That particular language is gone off. We teach them in English medium schools. While reaping the high agricultural production, we paid least attention to sustainability. While extracting forest resources, we missed to supplement those resources. And while accepting modernization, we overlooked the traditional value system. I just give a small example and I will continue. In our textbooks, in our books, we have a reference of Mississippi River. We have a reference of Hudson River. We study different continents. We have a study of Zulu tribe of Africa. But in our textbooks, we don't know Brahmaputra. There is no reference. There is no reference of Adi tribe just living just next district to me, next adjacent to me. I don't know the mountains and topography of Arunachal Pradesh. This is the tragedy of our education system. That's why we feel that this all traditional knowledge has to be brought to the academic forefront. Somebody has to do this task. Our languages needs to be promoted. Mother tongue, indigenous languages, whatever script, whatever distinction you use it, but still it needs to be promoted because they speak for them. They talk about their own emotions, about their own cultural relations. They speak about the value system, and that's why this entire traditional knowledge has to be brought to the academic forefront. That is very important task. And for this purpose, what we are doing, I will tell, but before that I will tell some of the challenges. Present issue of the Northeast India is again the large-scale illegal immigration from Bangladesh, from across the border. Our fencing, international fencing with India with Bangladesh is like this, like a kitchen garden fencing, just imagine. And other part, it is open to the valley, there is no security, there is no fencing because it is open to Brahmaputra river. And the Bangladeshi immigrants, they come here inside these plains of Brahmaputra, and from there they percolate as cheap labor into every part of Northeast India. This is how it happens. And when they go, they are not sitting silent. They will marry with local tribal women, and they live for them for around 5 to 10 years, and then they will talak and then go back. But there is a underbreed is coming, and that is bringing a socio-demographic change in the whole region. Today, the Bodo's problem, what you are listening in the papers, in Assam. Bodo is one of the major tribes in Assam. In their own land, they became minority because illegal migrants, they came and occupied their own land. When they said that, come on, here are the illegal migrants and we are going in minority, and when they raised the voice, the government of India is saying, oh sorry, you are fighting with Muslims. They are not recognizing they are illegal migrants. 1971 onwards, there is a absolute, the much more biggest agitation which was lodged against the Bangladeshi immigrants. Not a single Bangladeshi has been deported till today. It's the worst part of our, rather I say, fluid political system. I am not telling the negativity of the whole thing, but they are the realities, I must speak about that. And when they said, and when there was a fighting, now you can say, no, if at all the government of India wants to address the issues of minorities, then Bodo says, you address the issues of ours, because we are now in minority, in our own place. These are the problems, some of the problems, you can see. So this is how it is bringing the social demographic change in the region. There is another thing, the conversion what has happened in Northeast India. The major affected states are Nagaland and Mizoram. Almost more than 97% conversion. I call it as cultural invasion, not the conversion. I call it as cultural invasion. The original Naga people, they lost the Nagahood. Original Mizoland's Lardinga's greatest things that has been lost we don't find any Mizos. Everybody has become John, Jacob, Mary. They lost their names also. The very identity which gives them as a Nagas, as a Assamese, as a Arunachali, or anybody, whatever is there. They lost. Today, the the people, those who are there, they have launched a concept called Greater Nagaland. In their language, it is called Nagalin, and they want 2 districts of Manipur, 2 districts of Assam, 2 districts of Arunachal Pradesh, and whole of Nagaland put together. They want a separate state from India, and that is asked by the NSCN, Nagaland Socialist Council of Nagaland. And you go to their website and see what for they want. They are breathe what? The main important. On the caption, it has been written. They want to offer this land at the feet of Lord Jesus. I don't know. The Lord Jesus really, a great Lord, wants this land or no. We respect the Lord. But the tragedies of these people is that they, in the name of religion, they make this sort of division. That is the problem. And because of this, particular whole of Northeast India is disturbed. One side Nagaland, one side Mizoram, sometimes Manipur, sometimes the tribal versus tribals, tribals versus non-tribals, state versus states. These are the problems of Northeast India, except Arunachal Pradesh. And constant Chinese claim that yes, whole of Arunachal Pradesh belongs to them. And therefore, you will find that the Nepal Communist government has direct contacts with the Chinese, the communist government. They have started working on all around the northeastern India. Burma and Bhutan, they have already the military packs. They have purchased one island near Andaman Nicobar called Coco Island, and they have established a radar surveillance center. They have purchased one island from Sri Lanka also. They near the Bangladesh, they have deep water container shipping facility. They have already established there. Now, what the China wants to do all around the northeast, because this whole of Northeast India is connected to the mainland of our country with a narrow patch of land. In army's language, it is called chicken snack. 22 kilometers width. If a 2,000 soldiers stands hand in hand along this particular part, I think India's this part can be cut off at any time. That's why we call it as quadrangle security threat. That is how the army says. And that is how the design for the second partition is going on. And we don't wake up. We wake up only when Kargil situation comes. When the dead bodies of Jawans come back, then only we wake up. We wake up for garlanding them and saluting them and giving them the bell. What we will do with that? We must take the precautionary measures. When the Chinese claiming whole of Arunachal Pradesh belongs to them, the whole of India, instead of putting our energy to the, to your surprise, India's all international borders, all nations, if you look at the things, only to the western side there is a Pakistan. Otherwise, whole of this thing is for this whole 4 to 5 international communities. Nepal, Bhutan, China and Burma. Other than, and this Bangladesh. Except this, we have only Pakistan here. But our nation's entire energy goes to Pakistan, containing Pakistan, and we not at all paying attention to the Northeast India. That is another tragedy. Means, if we are here 5 nations, we must put 5 times energy here rather than here, I say. And China, if you look at the things, it never does any skirmish like Pakistan on the borders. No, it does not do. They are very confident. They say that yes, we can overrun at any time. So there is no skirmish on the borders. Except 1967, after 1962's Indo-China conflict, 97, 96 only, they took our one valley called the Sundaramcha Valley. That is in Chinese occupation now. 1962, it is like Kargil-like situation where the snowfall is there. After some time during the winter, both the army has to come down to a certain level. But they came down, but when we are supposed to go up and occupy our own bunkers, before that, Chinese came up to here and occupied our bunkers also. And they said, this is our land. And Indian government did not oppose it. I don't know why. But because of that, we lost in Sundaramcha Valley in 1967. But beyond that, there is nothing, no skirmish at all. Our borders at Arunachal Pradesh, all right. But claim, if you look at the maps, India's map in Chinese version, if you look at the things, then after, beyond this Assam, there is, Arunachal Pradesh is not shown. Of course, this particular part is already given by Pakistan to China, So these are the things are there. So in such a volatile situation, now our army is at the border. They are guarding our nation. Yes, really wonderful job, commendable job. We respect them. We salute them. But we have experiences like Kashmir. If the people are not there with us, any amount of army on borders is not going to help in any way. We have experiences. How can we border? How can we guard every mountain, every place, every valley, every bridge, every point of our security. How it is possible by army? Until and unless people are there with us. So, to build the people together, to bring the people together, inculcate them the patriotic value system, giving them the education, bringing them closer to the larger Indian culture. This is one of the major responsibility has come on us. And you might be knowing, I am proud to tell you, that after 1960 Chinese aggression, when government of India woke up to give the education to the people of Arunachal Pradesh, they thought it fit to invite Vivekananda Kendra to educate the people. You know, because they were knowing that, yes, what happened in Nagaland, what happened in Mizoram. And therefore, which organization we have to invite there to give the patriotic education? They should maintain the value system, they should keep the value system, traditional value system of local communities intact, at the same time give them the patriotic and qualitative education and bring them on par with the global communities. That major responsibility was given to Eknathji Ranade, the then Sahakaryava of RSS, who took the responsibility of constructing the rock memorial and brought out life model of an organization called Vivekananda Kendra into as a mission, and that is how he started working, and he was invited, and that is how the first dedicated workers of Vivekananda Kendra came into Arunachal Pradesh and started the chain of schools there. And this is how the government school teachers, even everybody was trained by Vivekananda Kendra teachers there. That is how the main impact. So last 30 years, the all like-minded organizations like Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Kendra, Kalyan Ashram, these are the organizations they are working and they hold on to the people. And that's why in Northeast India today, if somebody asks you, which is the peaceful state? Arunachal Pradesh. Absolutely there is no problem. Anybody can come at any time. In the evening you can just wander there, absolutely no problem. Every tribal will welcome you. If you want to do somebody Namaste in Arunachali man, they will say Jai Hind. That is the beauty. So those values have been inculcated by our all organizations, and that's why the solution for all these problems we thought was building the ethnic communities to foster sustainability, for strengthening their value system. That was the topic we took it actually. And this is how we came to, the vision statement of our organization, the ICCS, the reward is vibrant culture for sustainable prosperity. But we have to bring the values and systems together with achieving the sustainable progress. To maintain the traditional and cultural values, that does not mean you should be in in minimum clothes and you should have the thatched roof houses. No. We will accept the modernization. We will learn the computers. Everything we will accept. But while accepting, again, we will maintain our value system. Value system which I showed to you. How to nature and man symbolic relationship. How to live with the nature, how to live with the environment, how to live with the greatest values what our Indian culture can teach. That is how it is this particular thing, and this is how the rewatch came into existence. And I will just brief about the rewatch, what we are doing actually. This is situated exactly in the eastern part of Arunachal Pradesh. This is our headquarters. You can see this is Arunachal Pradesh. This is Bhutan, Tibet, China all along Bhutan. And this is Nagaland. You must be knowing, this is the Brahmaputra river, which origin is from here to Manas Sarovar. And Manas Sarovar, when it flows this river, this is called Yarlang Tsangpo in Chinese language. And Tsangpo river, when it enters into Arunachal, it is called Siam. When it comes to Assam, it is called Brahmaputra. You know, Brahmaputra is the only river in India which is addressed as a male river. To Brahmaputra. That is not Ti Nadi, To Brahmaputra. So because it is mightiest river in the whole, Asia's biggest river island called Majuli, that is in Assam. And 1 hour we get here actually. And when this river comes to Assam, it is called Brahmaputra. When it goes to Bangladesh, it is called Meghna, and then it goes to Bay of Bengal. So this is Arunachal Pradesh, and eastern part, after crossing this Brahmaputra, we have to go here, and here is the rewatch actually. And what is the uniqueness of our rewatch? Why the rewatch is necessary actually? The rewatch vision statement I have given, but the very uniqueness is 2 tracks of faculties. One track of faculties is that they will advise and guide to any research scholar as an academic professionals, but there is another track of faculty that is one elderly person of every ethnic community will be the honorary professor of our rewatch. As on today, we have 72 faculty members have been enrolled with rewatch. If anybody wants to do any study of 500 ethnic communities, there is a place rewatch, and it will connect directly access to the community. So this is how one of the unique thing with the rewatch is there actually. And His Excellency Governor of Arunachal Pradesh, he inaugurated the campus, the rewatch campus. He is the former chief of the army staff. They know that what for rewatch and working, we the workers are doing the work in the border areas. This is how the master plan, you can see this is the initiative block. This is our document center, this is library, this is the museum approved by Government of India, Ministry of Culture, 3 crore rupees plan. This is the, you can say guest house. These are the staff quarters. And so the connectivity to the people, common masses, to the here, up to here only. Beyond this, these are our academic block. Anthropology, archaeology, Department of Himalayan Herbs and Ethnic Medicine. So these are different departments academic. This is our playground. This is the dining hall with a capacity of 100 people sitting together. Boys hostel, girls hostel, guest house. These are research cottages. If anybody wants to come there and have a research for a maybe 1 semester program, maybe 3 months program, they will be given the independent cottages. And these 2 quarters, they are having, you can say, Himalayan Herbs and Ethnic Medicine department, because the local communities where there are no doctors, the local communities, they practice Himalayan herbal medicines. And Tibetan Chinese medicines are very famous. Arunachal Pradesh topography is the same, but we have not been explored. That's why I call it as it is a lab, because you pick up anything in Arunachal Pradesh and it becomes a topic of research. So Himalayan herbs and ethnic medicine, there are a number of varieties of plants are there. So in our campus, we grow 92 varieties of different altitudinal variation of plants. 11,000 feet, 9,000 feet, 7,000 feet, because plants grow in different altitude, in different, you can say variations. And those all plants, different variation plants with a restricted temperature are grown in our campus. This is how one of the very unique thing actually. And yes, and these are our infrastructures. You can see here, I'm just showing. These are the research cabins, what have been made for the individual scholars. It gets an independent cabin. Now there are computers have been placed, books have been placed, and anybody can come there and do the study of any aspect of tribal life there. This electrification of the entire campus is given by the Department of Planning, Government of Arunachal Pradesh. And you can see there are different, because as Swami Vivekananda said rightly, that philosophy does not go with empty stomachs. And therefore, we need to address the issues of their social life also, the cultural life also, economic life also. And therefore, socio-cultural development, when you talk, you cannot escape by giving them or without giving them the income generation activities or addressing the core issues of their life. Therefore, the underprivileged children, those who stay in the remote mountains, those who do not get the opportunities to learn, there is no electricity, there our work goes on. So free coaching classes, and you can see where there is no electricity, Arunachal Pradesh, unfortunately we have 2 seasons. One is winter season, cold, another is a rainy season. We have hardly any summer actually, because our rain starts in February or March, it goes up to October, and October onwards it becomes a winter season. So there is a problem of having a abundance of water and then there is no electricity, or no water and there is no electricity. We have micro-hydel programs, not a major hydels are not there with us. Therefore, many of the villages don't have electricity. So non-conventional energy, solar light does not work there many times. And when a lamp is lighted or energized, or you can charge, next day you may be able to work for 4 to 5 hours. And if it goes off, then you have to wait for the next day's whole day charging. That's why we brought out a new cycle. It is called cycle pattern lamps. You will like this concept actually. You can see here. There is a lamp. It is connected to this charging unit. You paddle for 15 minutes, 4 hours electricity. So 15 minutes paddling is equal to 4 hours electricity. So we have distributed the lamps to the children everywhere around these villages. The villages, when suppose 6 o'clock they started the light, 9 o'clock their light goes off. So they come running, 15 minutes again charge, go back. Now have the electricity after 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night. This is how the electricity has been provided. Now the students have get the opportunity to learn. The women come together, they address the issues of the village. They talk. The people, wisdom people, wise people, they come together, have discussion. So the night life, you can say rather, it has become vibrant now. So this is how the opportunities have been given. This is the rainwater harvesting system. This is working with us. And another thing, we don't have libraries. There are no good books. We don't have science equipments in the remote villages, remote schools actually. So we launched 2 programs called a backpack science teacher and backpack library. A teacher takes a few equipments. You will surprised though, there are many schools, even up to class 10, the students goes, but they have never touched the test tube. They do not have any opportunity to touch even the beakers. So what we did is, a science teacher, he packs some few equipments in his bag, walks for 1 day or 2 days and display there these all equipments and demonstrate many practicals in the class 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. This is how the scientific outlook of the students, science education to the students is being given by us. And this library, one of the important aspects, because if you want to take the patriotic education to the schools, values-oriented education to the children in the remote villages, you must have number of supplementary books to be taken to the remote areas. And Satyanarayan ji, who has spent more than 30 years as a dedicated worker, first education officer of Vivekananda Vidyalayas in Arunachal Pradesh, he takes books to remote part exactly on the borders, and he gives the demonstrates, and he puts up exhibition, and he tells lots of stories from their own motherland, and that brings the joy to the children. You can see, and therefore Satyanarayan is the most welcomed person by the army on the borders. This is our work has been done. You know, there are 197 villages situated along the border. Out of that, 27 villages are very hypersensitive, where sometimes Indo-China's interaction goes on there. We feel that these all villages need to be adopted. We have to work there. We have to build our network there. We have to reach to the grassroots level. Build the communities, tell them about India, bring them the value system, bring that entire education to the academic forefront, and then no country can take this particular Arunachal Pradesh or Northeast India snatch from us. You know, China occupied Tibet in 1959, and till today they are not able to govern the Tibet because still there is uprising because people do not accept Chinese governance. Very simple. Because if the people are there with us, nobody can do anything. That's why our work here is important. Yeah. So, apart from this, there is another one problem. Because these Mongolid looking people, they say Bharat Mata Ki Jai, they celebrate all Indian nationals, celebrate national festivals, but when they go out of Arunachal Pradesh and come in the rest part of country, we call them, as soon as you see their look, we call them, are you from Nepal or China? We never call them, are you from Northeast India? So they feel very hurt. They say, Are, in my state, I call Bharat Mata Ki Jai. When I come out, you call them as Nepal or Chinese? So they feel very hurt. That's why we launched a program called Matrubhumi Parichaya program. From every state, we host every year around 400 students from different parts of the country. And we tell them, yes, come on, you come for 4 days, they have to stay with the local communities. In every house, tribal house, we accommodate them 2 to 4 children. And they stay with them, they live with them, they talk with them, they eat their food, they understand their value system. And after 4 days, we take them to the mountains to understand how the biodiversity works. Maybe trekking, maybe rafting. And this becomes the youths very active. When they go back, they talk and speak about Arunachal. When they go back, they write many articles in the newspapers. And that is how it is going to be, it has become a very popular program. And this has been very well received by the people in Arunachal Pradesh as well as part of the country. Another thing is Himalayan herbs and ethnic medicine. We have 92 varieties of different medicine plants. We can see these are rare varieties. And we have launched a concept called herbal kitchen gardens. Because just for a headache, just for a stomach disorder, just for a loose motion, we need not immediately run to a physician. But every house should have the few medicinal plants which will cure your preliminary diseases. So that's why we launched. You have a kitchen garden, you plant few more additional medicinal plants. And that kitchen garden, herbal kitchen gardens, we call HBH, Herbs for Better Health. And that is how that program has become very popular. 13 villages have been adopted as every house has a herbal kitchen garden. And we want to promote this program in large scale. And because of that, Department of Pharmacy, Dibrugarh University in Assam, they have a theoretical education, but they don't have practical education. That's why they send to us, their students, Department of Pharmacy students in our campus for practical exam. Another thing, there are lots of skin diseases. There is a malaria. There are large number of TBs because every house, because of cold, there is a continuous burning fire in the home. And the housing structure is lowly thatched. I mean, the height of the roof to the ground floor is too low. And that's why they inhale lots of smoke. And that's why there is a percentage of TB, high percentage of TB. We opened a research lab called Rewatch, Department of Public Health Research. They have launched a research lab. And Dr. Bikul Das, who is a leading research scientist in Stanford University, California, he is the person, when he got the Bill Gates grant for having a stem cells research, he came to India rather than going to Brazil. So in India, Rewatch with Guwahati Medical College in Assam and Stanford University, we have a triangle research lab there, and here is he comes there and checks the local communities, give the medicine. This is the lab in our campus, Rewatch campus. It is a triangle collaboration with these things. And then another thing, to promote the languages, we organize Bhasha conferences. We call it Katha Yatra. So Katha Yatra, the journey of folktales, you can see. We promote lots of languages. You see the local, this is Symbiosis International Institute, CLI Madras, National Book Trust of India, and Rewatch. This is the third conference we are organizing, and this is the conference where we bring the different nations and different ancient elders actually, and tell them that how to promote your language, this one. And these are different programs have been taken up. We organize Kathayatras. Tell a story in your own mother tongue. You may not have any script, but when you tell the story with action, even though you don't understand the language, still you can understand what communication is complete. That's what I'm speaking. And this is how Kathayatras are organized. You can see here, we started publishing the books of folktales because, as I told you, folktales and folk songs, it speaks about the history of people, greatness of their great deeds of their ancestors, their value system. And that's why these are some of the books released by Education Minister, Government of Arunachal Pradesh. We have started, this you can see, this is the girl, which is a Kanti tribe girl. She studied in our school up to class 12, went to Madras and attended Kalakshetra, learned a Pandanalu art of dance. She came back and started Kalakshetra. We asked her, now you have studied and did a good job. Why don't you study? What are the common components of tribal dances of Northeast India with that of large Indian cultural dances? To your surprise, she identified 182 common components. Maybe mudra, eye movements, steps, dances, everything. And that is, book is being released by the Rewatch. This is how the communities with the large Indian culture, how it is communities, they are being studied by the Rewatch. Our collaborations with the University of South Florida, we have signed an MOU with academic collaboration, Diplomat University, Rajiv Gandhi University, Arunachal Pradesh, SIDAC Pune, and Museum Ministry of Culture, Government of India. And this is the MOU signed between the Vice President of University of South Florida and Chairman of Rewatch. And SIDAC, what we are doing with SIDAC, this is something interesting. You know, as I was talking about the herbal medicines, SIDAC will take a leaf fingerprinting. The rare species of medicinal plant, SIDAC will take a fingerprint launched from the satellite and identify where the cluster growth of these medicinal plants are there in Arunachal Himalayan mountains. And then explore it, how we can make an income generation activity to the local communities as well as giving a better health to the humanity as a whole. So this is one of the very joint program, the Rewatch with SIDAC has been being taken up now. This is the Ministry of Culture's museum has been approved. One of the specialty of this museum, this is an ethnic museum, but this is the first ethnic museum which will be interactive in India. So this museum has been approved by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India to us, and it is being constructed now. We have a governing council brought from different parts of our walking of life, Governor of Arunachal Pradesh, former Chief Minister, the Governor of Pondicherry, local leadership, Vice Chancellors, everybody has been involved in our administration of this particular Rewatch. And the basic concept is like this, contrary remark. A Rewatch, as a research institute, it will act as a research institute for first 5 years. Later on, it will become a deemed university. Act as a deemed university for next 5 years and then achieve the full-fledged status of a university. So we assume that to a journey from Rewatch to UWatch, University of World Ancient Tradition, maybe 10 to 12 years period, it will become a university. But during that time, there will be UWatch, Rewatch, Guatemala, maybe Rewatch Costa Rica, maybe Rewatch Hungary, maybe Budapest, maybe America, and this all Rewatch later on will be attached to this UWatch, and this UWatch will be in Jagannath Dham here in the United States. This is how we have taken up a big project actually with a mighty vision, and we are working towards that. And I just put forward a wish wherever I go. These are some of our immediate needs, and it is definitely, as Swami Vivekananda said, yes, it is a prime duty of everybody to work for the motherland, and that's why we feel that to integrate the people living on the borders for the security of our nation and working for the remote corner of our motherland, and the people those who are left out for a long time from the development and these processes, they need to be supported, and this is why I put this particular slide in front of everybody wherever I go. And not only this, but I extend everybody a most welcome and welcome to Arunachal Pradesh, because when Vijay Swami speaks and tells about Arunachal Pradesh, and when you go and see, there is a difference. And when you speak about Arunachal Pradesh, there is a difference. So you can become the ambassador of our Rewatch as well as the Northeast India and Arunachal Pradesh. And therefore, I welcome you. I just put how to come to Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh, really, it is quite remote, and we don't have airports and we don't have railways. So you have to come to Arunachal Pradesh like this. Arunachal Pradesh is in belt. If you want to come to eastern part, there is the nearest airport is Dibrugarh. From there, just a 2.5 hour journey, maybe 3 to 4 hours, because you have to cross Brahmaputra. Within 3.5 hours, you reach to my place. If you come to Tezpur in the western part, there is 3 hours you can reach to Arunachal Pradesh. If you come to Guwahati, 6 hours we can reach to Arunachal Pradesh. These all airports are directly connected from Delhi, Madras, Bombay and all metropolitan cities. And the same day you can reach from any part of our India to Arunachal Pradesh. And once you reach in Arunachal Pradesh, or once you reach the capital of Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, then there is a helicopter services. A chopper services is very much subsidized by the government of India. And take a chopper service, you can go any districts, any part of Arunachal Pradesh, and this is something very beautiful. The cheapest ticket for helicopter is 300 rupees. You can say maybe how many dollars, I don't know, maybe some 20, 30 dollars, I don't know. So within so much cheap, no, you won't get any services anywhere. If you want to enjoy the cheapest service, come to Arunachal Pradesh. So thank you so much and giving me this opportunity.